Hello. Today I'd like to raise a question which actually has been brought about by a customer of ours yesterday. He was saying, Laurent, what is the difference between the kind of skills that our people need when they work in relation with a given country? Or if they go to a given country, in comparison to what are the skills required when they work in a conf call where you have 10 different nationalities around the conf call, or when you have a meeting in which you would have 5, 6, 7, 10 very international group to participate in or even to lead. If I put it in a technical word slightly, I would say the first one would be called a bicultural adjustment, you know, in the sense of two cultures or one people moving towards another culture. The second one would be called the multicultural adjustment. On the first one, let me take an example. If I want to convince, or if you want to convince an American manager starting a meeting, you probably would have a lively conversation, probably using body language quite expressively. You would probably go straight to the point. If you had to recommend during the meeting an option, you wouldn't be afraid of taking risk. You wouldn't be afraid of, obviously, calculating the risk, but really showing it as a value that we probably have a lot to gain in this option. And you wouldn't forget, obviously, to use the output as directly as you can, as you could express it, and possibly in terms of dollar value. This project is going to bring us 10 million US, I can guarantee. This sort of communication would probably be very well appreciated. Now, if I am as my customer was saying, if I am in a meeting where you have 10 people from 10 different nationalities, and if you have 10 very different individualities, personalities, one expecting direct speech, the other one would appreciating a sort of softer communication, more respectful in his own terms. If one wants to have a very strong authoritarian attitude from the leader, whereas the other one would really say, hey, look guys, we would appreciate you to leave us a bit of room, and you know, dear leader, you're one of us. You're one of us, no more. How can you adapt to all that in the meantime? How can you certainly satisfy some people expecting one extreme on one given value, whereas the other one would, at the same time, same moment, satisfy? There it ends up into your capacity as a leader to create a sort of acceptable consensus. We talk about creating a common island of understanding. So either in the beginning of a project, some people would hate it actually if you did it too early, or a bit later down the road, somebody would hate it if you do it too late, right? You have to feel the right appropriate moment to say, here is the way we want to work together. And there is no right or wrong, there is no we will be always very straight to the point, or you have to explain your own choices. You have to make your own choices. So I often say, the good news is you can be yourself. The managers that are in such a situation can be themselves, as long as they are able to talk about their own choices. They are able to make sure that these choices are more or less shared by people, and that they have the skill to identify the ones who don't go along this route. You will have worked extensively, if your people are cultural sensitive, into detecting these sort of no confident signs, the trust breaking signs. your people would have been used to doing that. And that is the kind of skills that they need to develop. The capacity to bring people together around this multicultural environment, talk about their own style, give the opportunity to others to sort of catch through your words, through your attitudes, or through participants' attitude in your group, if we're talking about a project group, or in a team, if it's a hierarchical team, grasp the capacity that is given through the words or through the attitudes to say, this is not acceptable to me as a participant. Laurent, you need to do things like that. If you go on managing time this way, I won't be part of your next phone call, conf call. If you are such an authoritarian leader, I'm sorry, I have no room in there. And your own managers, if they know that their own capacity to talk about it gives confidence for the people to express themselves, they will be able to identify the trust breakers, the deal breakers, and obviously they would have to deal with them individually outside of the meeting. That's all for today. That's probably a very strong topic that we could develop in such a few ways. Bye for today.